ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 1 of tonight's Riot Duo Scrims Most Wanted. Now, tonight, the player of Fuji, who is on team number 9, is today's most wanted player, and if anyone manages to kill him, they will gain 4 bonus points. However, if he is killed by the blue zone or by the red zone, then the 4 points of game number 1 will be rolled over to game number 2, which means that we could possibly be looking at a huge 8 bonus points available tonight. Now we are going to start with team number 9 with Fuji and Avery as they drop towards the mansion compound. They look to be alone at the moment, so they should have a relatively safe start to the day. And already we are seeing a knock with Bar of FE getting the first knock of game number 1, and DSE John goes up against Kenzo and gets the kill there. We are now with FE Bar and FE Tau, I believe have referred to themselves as the T-Tau team, as they go up against Little Vlad and Sirius. Now Little Vlad is not at the moment. We have Sirius just moving around the left hand side of these warehouses. He has been spotted by Bar. It looks as though Bar is going to try and meet him around the side. And a flare has just been shot up by Sirius. And that is Sirius down 2. So we start off with 2 kills for the T-Tau team. And just like that, let's move straight over now to team 30, which is Lance and Baby Shark of level 1, as they are in Primorsk with Gen Freaks made up of Damo and Susan, as well as Zeno 1 made up of Kwani and Knockout, and Riot Panda and I Don't Care. And RPG Lola gets a knock on the left hand side. So let's jump straight over to team number 15. There we go. And Lola is inside Adasta at the moment, so it looks as though they will be making a move very, very shortly. And here we see the first zone, and I think from that zone alone I can be fairly confident that this game will end on the military island. So we could see some brilliant bridge fights on both the left hand bridge and the right side bridge near to Nova Repnor there. The only team on military island at the moment is team 24. And team number 10 are firing towards RPG, and that is Legolas Knock, and I Am Game gets the duo wipe taken down RPG Lola 2. So for team 10 Spicy, that is I Am Game and Peekaboo with 2 kills. And it looks as though Zeno 3, made up of Alex and Ryder, are inside the red zone at the moment near to Pachinki. And as I always say, the red zone is not there to make friends. But strangely enough, it seems that the teams near to Primorsk and Ferry Pier are the only teams that are grouping together at the moment, with the remaining teams fairly separated, including team number 9, where you will find the most wanted player in game number 1. But for now, let's go back down to team 30, level 1 Baby Shark and Lance, as they still find themselves in Primorsk. And correction, they've just moved over to Ferry Pier at the moment. They have Damo of Gen Freaks just moving past them. And here he comes. that is knocked and taken down by Lance there of the level 1 team. They do have the Pen OGs, which I believe is team number 7, just over towards north, just across the road there. And now, as we can see, the teams on the right hand side of this map, if you consider a line going down the centre from 70 to military base, the right hand side teams are now all making their way to the right hand bridge near to Nova Repnoi. Looks as though team 28, which is DSE, are going to be the first to make their way across. And Juicy takes down Avery and gets a kill there. So let's go straight over to team number 9 as Juicy takes down Fuji. So it is the Juicy team of team 34 that get the 4 bonus points in game number 1. And Get Good of Riot has just got a knock on Kwani there. And Knockout takes down Riot Panda as Team 6 go up against Team number 12. And a grenade has been thrown into that top window but doesn't get the hit it was looking for, as Knockout just moves left to try and get some sight onto Panda to get the finish. It looks as though Knockout is going to go and try and get the revive on Kwani there, as Panda remains in the corner just to heal up, and Get Good now starts rotating to the left hand side. We have both Knockout and Kwani up at the moment. Shots are being fired. They are now panicking by the looks of it. They're running around, not in a particular direction at the moment. Grenade is being prepared by Kwani and gets thrown to the right hand side, but nowhere near Panda or Get Good. Here comes another. Ooh, almost getting a hit there, but just off target a little. Now the one issue we have is that it seems that Knockout is just not taking the opportunity given at the moment. With Kwani distracting both Get Good and Panda, Knockout could logically just rotate around the left hand side and come up from behind Panda and Get Good just to get some shots. Oh, a well thrown grenade, but unfortunately just the timing is a bit off, so Kwani is able to move out of the way. And here we go, another one being prepared. A grenade thrown in. Oh, and again just the timing a little with smoke. And the shots being fired. Kwani is down. Get Good is almost knocked. Knockout is running in. Wow. Knockout takes down both Panda and Get Good, and now goes to get the revive on Kwani there. Now they are just outside of zone at the moment by not too much, so they could probably get in by foot, but they could come into contact with Susan Jacqueline of Team 26 and the Pen guys of Team number 7. Now we have a few more teams moving towards the military base, with a few more just starting to come down the bridges now. And AOD Nix gets a knock on Zen Missy and takes down Zen Venom 2. And I Am Game is knocked by Explosion. So if we can get over to them now, which is Team 10, and have a look at Peekaboo. And it is the red zone that they are coming up against at the moment. As Juicy takes down Raiden by car. And Peekaboo is just getting the revive on I Am Game at the moment. They are relatively safe as the red zone is further to the eastern side, near to team number 8 of Zero Tolerance. And team 10 are just inside the zone, so they do not have the blue zone to worry about for now. But that zone will change in just a moment. I'm thinking it will probably push more south, continuing to come towards the military base. And as we can see by looking at the map, it seems as though a lot of the teams are just scattered across the coastline at the moment. So we may see a few teams coming across the water, maybe swimming or by boat. We may even see a couple try and come across the bridges. Now, one thing I will mention is that on the left hand side we have Team 31, which is Zen, as well as Team 25, which is Jen. Now, as well as possibly taking each other out, they will also be there in a gatekeeping capacity. They will not want to let any other teams come across that bridge. They will want them to be on the other end, near to the blue zone, really being pressured into making a silly move, really, to put themselves into the open to give the other teams a clear shot. But as well as that, they may also be taken out by the other teams around them or behind them. And Juicy then gets a knock on Jen. And that is Jen chairs up with Jen Spook, taking down a member of Juicy with Flaps, trying to get the revive, as is Spook at the moment. And smokes are now being thrown down. Sherzak is just using the first aid kit, which is a good thing, really, because Team 34 are still firing towards them. They are not backing off, and now Juicy Flaps is moving to the left-hand side to try and get a different angle on Team 27. Whilst the other member of Juicy is just in that house at them on the right-hand side at northeast. Takes on AOD Nick and gets the kill with M4 as Zen Nemris gets the revenge kill, with DT getting a knock on Jen Nick by car. And DT gets the knock and the kill on Jen Nick and Jen Raven, and Cherzak is down again, with Juicy getting a knock by car 98. And Spook takes down a member of Juicy too. So again, it looks as though both respective members will now try and get the revive on their teammates. And I was wrong. Juicy continues firing, and as a result takes down both Jen Spook and Jen Cherzak, and will now go for that all-important revive. And now the zone has changed, and it didn't move as far south as I thought it would. So it looks as though the northern side of the map near Pachinki and Farm is still going to be in play, as well as the majority of the military base. Now we have Team 16, interestingly, RPG Decoy and his teammate right at the bottom of that zone. So with their positioned at the moment, they can let all the other teams around them do the majority of the hard work and then sneak in when the last 3 or 4 duos are still playing and then try and get some really good kills there. And because they've been going up against all those other teams, their health may be low, may be limited in terms of the amount of boosts they have. So that can be a really crafty move to make, I'd say. And they seem to be relatively alone at the moment. The nearest team to them are Juicy, who are just driving towards them now. But other than that, they are relatively alone. And Juicy is just taking a slight left-hand turn and is now going more towards the DSE team, which is made up of Graden and John. And they may now try and take this small warehouse as theirs and just hold that location for the time being until the zone changes again, and they will then know whether they do have to move back across the bridge towards the Pachinki side or whether military will be where it all ends. And based on probability, I would say that it's going to end on military at the moment, but as I'm sure we can all appreciate, I may be wrong there. PUBG may just want to throw a spanner in the works for us and finish us off with a really unfortunate zone, but we will just have to see in a moment. And now we are 17 minutes in to game number 1. We are just past the halfway mark. We have 17 teams still in play and 30 players still alive. We are with Team 34 Juicy at the moment, who have 5 kills so far. Keep in mind that they also took down 2 members of the Salty Snakes, including Fuji, who was the most wanted member of game number 1, which means that they gain a bonus 4 points. And now Goddess has just jumped into the swing of things and gets a knock on a member of Team 32, which is Zen Rider. We have Alex just inside the building trying to move left to get the revive, and Goddess is not holding back. She is still scoping in, hoping to get that finishing shot. But it looks as though Alex has just got there in time and they are covered to the left-hand side. And Alex will be able to get the revive very, very shortly. And here we go. Shots being fired again. We now have team number 3 made up of Riot, Mystic and Ghost just moving through past the building where you will find Zen Rider and Alex right towards the back at 285, possibly rotating right. And now DSC are coming in and they speed pass being fired at by both team number 5 and team 32, and that has given Goddess all the information that she needed. And now grenades are going in towards Zen Rider. They just missed their target, with Zen Rider able to push back slightly. You now have DSE over at 300 inside that compound, with 23 Rhymes Vibe over at West. And we now have Team 34 Juicy just approaching the 3-story building at 65, meaning that Reigns and Goddess will now be slightly under pressure, especially with the Juicy team and Zen both firing towards them. And DSE Graden has now taken down Zen Rider, with Reigns getting a knock on one of the members of the Juicy team, as I Am Game takes down Ken Julius of Team 7, and Peekaboo gets the kill on Cons, with Reigns taking down Juicy as well as Goddess. So that is another 2 kills for the Riot team, and it means they can now revert their attention back to Team 32 Zen, with Zen Alex and Ryder just with Zen Alex in the open at the moment, with Ryder just pushing forward slightly, trying to get a better shot on team number 5. We still have Alex trying to revert back, but is knocked by DSE John with a DP28, and that is Alex down. And Zen Rider is now alone. We have Rhymes Vibe just staying out of the picture at the moment, over towards 290. Wow, and I am proven wrong. The zone has changed again, but it hasn't moved drastically north, meaning that it is now more likely that it will end on the Pachinki side of the bridge, meaning that Team 16 RPG, Team 19 made up of Oxmo, will now need to come back across that bridge or across the water, their choice entirely, possibly coming into contact with level 1 or the Zen team on the right. And we could possibly now be looking at an open finish with the centre area being my choice. But as I've proven today, I'm not normally right with the zones. So again, I could be completely wrong and it could end up in the water, which I would absolutely love. It would be a brilliant finish. But who knows? And there we go. And for once, I'm a little bit right. I would take that. As the zone is moved again, now to the centre. So we are looking at a fairly open end with a couple of compounds in play. One on the left-hand side and one where Riot are positioned at the moment. And DSE John gets a knock on Zero Tolerance. With apps still in play, and that is Nana taken down by Graden with a car 98. And Apps is now firing towards Zen Rider over at West. And Susan Jacqueline is taken down by Effie Bar, and Rhymes Vibe is unfortunately taken down by Goddess of Team and number 5. And as we find ourselves with 13 teams remaining, let's just have a brief recap of the kills so far. As level 1 Bunny takes down DSE Graden. So we have Team 5 Riot with 3 kills so far. We have Team 10 with 5. Team 12 with 2, Team 21 with 2, 23 with 2, 30 with 1, 31 with 5, 32 with none, and 37 with 3. We have 12 teams remaining. We have 18 players still alive, and the zone is going to start coming in around 5 seconds time. We are 23 minutes into game number 1, so we are nearing the end, with approximately 5 more minutes left to play. And as mentioned earlier, the bonus 4 points for killing the most wanted member has already been claimed by the Juicy team, who took down Salty Snake's Fuji earlier. So for game number 2, another 4 points will be up for grabs as Fuji plays again. And now I Am Game has got a knock on range and gets the finish, with Peekaboo taking down Goddess with a scar. And let's jump straight over to the T-Towel team with Towel and Bar inside a house at the moment. We have got Team 10 pushing in with Team number 8, and Kwani takes down level 1 Baby Shark and gets the kill. And level 1 Bunny has taken down Zen Nemris. And the zone has now moved to the eastern side. Looks as though, apart from the compound where Riot find themselves at the moment, and the T-Towel team, we are still looking at a relatively open zone. And if we move to level 1 Bunny, who has Oxmo just moving ahead, has been spotted, but level 1 Bunny is choosing to stay back slightly. Why, I'm not entirely sure right now. And that is Bunny taken down by Oxmo and Uzi. Has Quanny and Knockout just come driving around in the Jeep. It looks as though Oxmo may have been spotted by them. And he has, and is taken down without any issue by Knockout and the Uzi again. They are now going to loot their boxes before moving into the zone. As Mystic takes down Lance 223, leaving Riot Team 3, Peekaboo and Iron Game of Team 10, Quanny and Knockout of Team 12, DT Pino of 21, Zem Rider of Team 32, and the T-Towels of Team 37, with Quanny being taken down by Peekaboo and I Am Game taken down Knockout. A huge surprise with Team 10 able to get the kills from there. And FE Tao takes down Zen Rider. So that leaves just Team 3 of Riot, Team 21 of DT Pino, 37 of FE T-Towels, and Team 10 of I Am Game and Peekaboo. And FE Tal is just scoping in on Pino at the moment, who's just behind the rock at 260, 265. A grenade is being prepared. Smoke grenades are now being thrown just to give the T-Tal team another option. And here comes the blue. So Team 37 are now having to push their way through, with DT Pino also being pushed in by blue. We have Riot over at 200 with Team 10 over at 150. No teams are really inside of the zone at the moment. And that is Pino being taken down by FE Bar. And we now have our top 3 for game number 1. Team 10, Team 3 and Team 37. Each team has 2 members right now, with I Am Game being taken down by Riot, with Peekaboo also being fired at. And FE Bar takes down Riot Ghost, which gives team number 10 the opportunity to revive. And now we have a triangle formation with FE over at 350, Riot down at 285, and team number 10 down at 60. And FE Bar is just on the verge of being knocked, and in 39 seconds the blue zone will start moving in. We have Riot throwing smokes right now just to give them a bit of cover as they try to move location. They want to get a bit more cover, so we're using their smokes to get them by the trees, and Peekaboo and Iron Game are rotating round Right, Ghost is taken down by Peekaboo. Mystic has just dropped prone, hiding within the smokes. You have Effie firing towards them as well. And Right Mystic is throwing more smoke grenades. Peekaboo is just throwing a grenade towards Right Ghost. Takes around half of his health. And Molly is now throwing Right Ghost, trying to move back. But Right Mystic will not be able to get the revive on this occasion. And Right Mystic has been fired at from both sides. Effie Towel is taken down by Mystic. Mystic is taken down by himself. And here we have it. Effie Bar is the last standing member of Team 37. We have both I Am Game and Peekaboo who are standing at the moment. A grenade is being thrown towards Effie Towel but just doesn't get there. And Effie Bar throws a brilliant grenade. Oh, only taking half of I Am Game's health. Here comes another and takes another half. One more grenade and that'll be all it takes to get a knock on I Am Game. And Bart is still trying to fire shots, but just hasn't got the sight on I Am Game. Is still trying. Here comes Blue. Peekaboo is down. It is now F.E. Bar against I Am Game. They are both prone. They are both trying to push in. It's whoever sees who first. And here we go. And Bar is taken down. He almost had it. But the winners of game number 1 with an impressive 11 kills is Peekaboo and I Am Game. We have Effie Bar and Towel in second with 6. We have Right Ghost and Right Mystic in third with 2. We have Ismail Hamek in fourth along with GT Pino with 2 kills. We have Zem Rider and Alex in 5th with no kills. Quanny and Knockout in 6th with 4. Level 1 Baby Shark and Lance 223 in 7th with 1. Red Lixie and Oxmo in 8th with 1. Rhymes Vibe and Level 1 Bunny in 9th with 3. Zero Tolerance Apps and Nana in 10th with none. And AOD Nix and Zen Nemris in 11th with 5 kills. If you have enjoyed this stream, please follow the channel with new content added daily. We will be back in just a moment for game number 2. This is the Riot Duo Scrims on a Monday. I am Ab Summer and we will be back very shortly.